I feel as if that's a legacy fight. I feel as if, this is the biggest fight in boxing today. I feel like this fight right here is like the last of the Mohicans. We both coming in an era where Floyd Mayweather was number one pound for pound, Showtime, or HBO era, that type of era. So I think this fight will be
done deal. Recent stories have confirmed the Canelo Alvarez vs Terence Crawford fight. Canelo won a dominant, unanimous decision victory over Edgar Berlanga, successfully defending his full array of super middleweight world titles following the fight. Alvarez announced he plans to take the rest of the year off to heal and recharge, although the Guadalajara native is currently on pause until the end of the year. The buzz surrounding him remains far from especially when it comes to speculation about his possible next opponent, Terence Crawford and Turki Alalshik. The important promoters behind the highly anticipated bout have both issued challenges to Canelo Alvarez, with the latest highlight coming after Alvarez's victory over Berlanga. Crawford is the biggest fight in boxing. We are ready. We have to get ready for this. Said but in a video the night of the Tapatios fight, Canelo, who previously mentioned in interviews that he'd be willing to face Crawford for $150 million, has now stated he will make his return to the ring in May 2025 following his break. Right now I'm going to rest. I don't have anything in mind. Afterwards I will talk with Eddie Reynoso, Al Heyman and Luis de Cubas, Jr. to see what's coming, but there is nothing we can say right now. We will see what's coming in May, said the Mexican in the news conference after the fight with Berlanga, according to writer Sean Zittel on the Porterway podcast. Word is spreading that Saul Canelo Alvarez is highly likely to agree to a showdown with Terence Crawford in May. To clarify, I shared things I gather and heard during the past fight week from those close to the information that I didn't hear that it's confirmed. That's why I said it's a very legit possibility, but nothing about the fight is confirmed. He shared it on X. The WBO has mandated a bout between Terence Crawford and Sebastian Fundora, yet Canelo Alvarez thinks this doesn't rule out a future clash with the super welterweight champion. Crawford, who had previously reigned as the undisputed champion at 147 pounds, he stepped up to light middleweight to beat WBA title holder Israel Madrimov. Now he's gearing up for his first title defense in this new class. In recent months, Crawford has shown a desire to take on the unified super middleweight champion, though the Mexican appears to stay unconvinced by the challenge.
Obviously Floyd and Manny, a lot of people thought happened way after it should have happened. You guys are both in your prime right now. You guys are both two of the top 5 pound-for-pound fighters in boxing. This is the biggest fight in boxing right now.
Definitely, and that's what I've been saying. You got two guys, top 3 pound for pound, going head to head with each other, and I understand, Canelo is bigger than me and whatnot, but I'm up for the challenge.
Alvarez suggested that fighting Crawford holds minimal benefit for him. With Crawford weighing 14 pounds less, he thinks there would be little recognition if he were to defeat the undefeated American. However, any upset in Crawford's favor would be celebrated as a major victory. Canelo, however, will not absolutely rule anything out. In an interview with Boxing Scene, Alvarez said, "I don't think so. I'm not saying that fight can't happen. That order doesn't matter." Meanwhile, Mike Tyson voiced his reservations about Terence Crawford moving up to 168 pounds to take on Canelo Alvarez for the champions trio of titles in that division. Mike Tyson, famously known as Iron Mike, observed that Terence Crawford didn't look at his best in his recent match, moving up from 147 to 150 pounds to challenge Israel Madrimov for the WBA junior middleweight title on August 3rd. Crawford faced a major physical challenge. Tyson commented on Mad Size, saying that Crawford may have been unwise to take on such a formidable opponent as Madrimov. Unleashed a barrage of devastating right hands against Crawford throughout the fight, consistently landing the more impactful and precise strikes in each round. As we observed the fight progress, it was evident to me that Madrimov deserved the win for delivering the superior punches. However, the judges seemed to evaluate the match as if it were governed by amateur criteria. The judges awarded Crawford a tight unanimous decision after 12 rounds, yet his performance didn't convincingly demonstrate that the nearly 37-year-old fighter could step up to 168 pounds to face Canelo, the reigning WBA, WBC, and WBO super middleweight champion. Crawford's reason for chasing that lucrative Canelo fight is clear. he aims to secure a financial cushion for his golden years living in the opulence reminiscent of Gilded Age tycoons. However, the fans deserve a fair shot at this spectacle. If Crawford truly wants the retirement jackpot against him, he'll need to step up to 168 and show his worth against the formidable Big Four.
Tonight, Terence Crawford was with Turkey Al-Sheikh at the other event across town. Put out an open challenge to you on the internet with Turkey Al-Sheikh calling you out. What's your response to Terence Crawford's call out tonight?
No comment.
Should Crawford successfully navigate these four challenges, he'll be ready to step up and take on Canelo Alvarez for his trio of super middleweight titles. It's as straightforward as that to secure that golden chance. Crawford must grind for it just like anyone else. In life, there are no routes. His track record lacks depth, populated by past their prime opponents and fighters who never quite hit their potential. Mike Tyson expressed his dislike for a potential fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, citing concerns over the weight difference, mentioned that Crawford's previous fight against Israel Madrimov had been closed due to Madrimov's size and awkward fighting style, suggesting that Crawford shouldn't have even taken that fight. Tyson shared these thoughts during an interview on the It Is What It Is YouTube channel, as he discussed Crawford possibly moving up to 168 pounds to face Canelo for his unified super middleweight T titles.
Why not?
I don't like that fight. It's just too much weight, you know. And he had a close fight with the last guy he fought, Terence, because this guy was big and he was awkward. He was really awkward. He shouldn't have fought that guy. He should have fought a guy that was just come straight at him. The guy was too awkward.
He's herky-jerky,
Daniel Jacobs thinks Crawford, who has stated that he wants to go all the way up to 168 pounds in order to meet Canelo Alvarez, will put himself to the test. Jacobs, who faced Canelo a unanimous decision defeat back in May 2019, thinks Crawford could hold his own against Alvarez if this dream matchup ever takes place. Skills sometimes pay the bills, and we know for sure that Crawford has the skills over Canelo. Jacobs recently told Fight Hub TV, he added, "It's just sometimes power, weight, and experience may have a factor in that, so it will be a good test for Crawford, but I think the fans are the winners in that particular fight." Having conquered the 147 pounds division and earned his title as the undisputed welterweight champion, Crawford explored the 154 pounds landscape in his upcoming fight against Madrimov. Should a highly anticipated showdown with Canelo come to fruition, it would see Crawford ascend to additional weight classes into the super middleweight realm, regarded by fans and critics as the top pound-for-pound boxer in the world. Crawford boasts exceptional boxing PR, however, his ability to survive Alvarez's punches at 168 pounds is still untested. Crawford versus Madrimov, in Jacobs' opinion, was a good sign. This will be a good test for Crawford. Jacobs said talk of a possible Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez's fight won't go away. A key point to consider is the disparity in weight between the two fighters. Canelo has fought at light heavyweight, even claiming a world title there, though he also faced a defeat in that class against Dimitri Bivol. Crawford, a former undisputed king in the lightweight division, achieved the same remarkable status in the welterweight category by defeating Errol Spence Jr. in July 2023. In his most recent bout, he defeated Israel Madrimov the first try by lifting the weight to 154 pounds. In his most recent fight, Canelo Alvarez defended his 3 super middleweight titles against Edgar Berlanga, showcasing his skills he has against past challengers like John Ryder and Jaime Munguia. However, it's worth noting that he hasn't made a stop in any of his last 5 matches. The coaches of Jesse Rodriguez and Virgil Ortiz, Robert Garcia was also expecting Canelo to stop his guy. He said, "It was a great fight. I think they both put in a great fight. I thought, like everyone else, that Canelo was going to knock him out, but Berlanga came in ready to fight. He got knocked down pretty good but got up like nothing and fought really well. It was a good fight." Currently, numerous fans are eager to see him face off against former world champion David Benavidez. However, as of now, no talks have taken shape, leading to ongoing discussions about a possible fight with Crawford. Garcia has shared his forecast for the match, suggesting that if it unfolds as anticipated, the noticeable size disparity will become a crucial factor, possibly putting Crawford at a disadvantage as the fight progresses. He said, "Crawford will put up a good fight. I don't see him winning, but I see him putting up a good 6 to 8 rounds. After that, I see Canelo taking over, but I think those first 6 rounds will be very close, or maybe Crawford will be ahead. I could see him winning some rounds against Canelo. Terence is strong physically and mentally, and you need that, so he does put up some rounds. I don't think he will win because it will be tough for him. Canelo's power strength in the late rounds is where Crawford starts getting into trouble. Crawford has said that the only thing that scares him about Canelo is his stature, but he also stated that he has a history of fighting larger opponents regarding a possible fight between boxing champions Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Ryan Garcia has stated his thoughts clearly and unequivocally in a recent interview. Garcia, known for his provocative statements, called Crawford an overrated loser and firmly asserted that Alvarez would triumph if they squared off in the ring in a candid interview with SE Cheese TV. Garcia didn't mince words. He labeled Crawford as a dull competitor, stating that he's unworthy of the spotlight. He commands and provocatively suggested that he's simply pilfering money from the sport of boxing. The young fighter currently serving a doping ban even went as far as to dare Crawford, saying, "Come see me in the ring if you think I'm talking exploded." Garcia's comments were especially audacious given his ongoing suspension and the uproar over his unsuccessful drug test from earlier this year. Excitement stirred in the boxing community when Terence Crawford won his 4th world title, claiming the WBA super welterweight belt by defeating Israel Madrimov. This achievement reignited talks of a showdown between Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, particularly after Saudi Arabia's boxing chief, Turki Al-Sheikh, signaled his enthusiasm for orchestrating the bout and even made an offer to Alvarez. However, Alvarez declined, prompting Al-Sheikh to shift his focus elsewhere. He then mentioned a possible clash between Crawford and the undefeated American star, Virgil Ortiz Jr., generating a new wave of speculation and anticipation.
Terence Crawford, his name keeps coming up, and I know he's a lot smaller than you. Is that a fight that you would ever consider under any circumstance?
You know, I always say if the fight make sense, why not? But he's not in the plan.
He's not in the plan?
No.
Okay. Is there a specific reason for it? Is it because of his size, or it won't do anything for you in terms of pushing you toward your goals?
You know, like I say, it makes sense maybe. I don't know right now. I just gonna enjoy this fight, and please let me enjoy this fight. And then you're gonna know what is next for sure.
Even with the Al-Sheikh's change in direction, the buzz surrounding the expected super fight remains strong. Boxing enthusiasts are eagerly awaiting the showdown between Crawford, who boasts an unblemished record of 41 wins, and Alvarez, who defended his super middleweight titles against Edgar Berlanga on September 14th. Crawford, fresh off a triumphant debut at 154 pounds, would need to ascend to an even higher weight class to fight Alvarez, who competes at 168 pounds. Meanwhile, Alvarez has expressed a willingness to face Crawford but has supposedly placed an eye-watering $150 million demand on the table for the game. Garcia's remarks about Crawford have ignited a debate over whether a possible matchup would truly meet the height. He diminished Crawford's skills, stating that while the Omaha fighter has achieved much, he simply doesn't measure up to Alvarez's caliber. "He gets it a lot, he's not invincible," Garcia commented, expressing confidence that even he could find a way to beat Crawford at this point. Each fighter is following their own trajectory. Crawford's future moves are still shrouded in uncertainty, while Alvarez is preparing hard for his title defense in September. The potential showdown between Alvarez and Crawford remains uncertain, but Garcia's bold comments have undoubtedly intensified the buzz in the boxing community. Terence Crawford's move to super middleweight, in Bob Santos's opinion, is too great of a leap for the Nebraska star. Crawford became the WBA champion at super welterweight after just beating Israel Madrimov. The tight nature of the competition has raised questions about Crawford's ability to maintain his skills at 168 pounds, where a fight with Canelo Alvarez could prove to be a lucrative matchup. Santos, the 2022 Trainer of the Year for the Ring magazine, has offered his advice on Crawford's course of action. "I think it'll be a step too big for him, but he's earned the right to try it," said Santos. When speaking to Boxing Scene, he added, "Well, I think that's true, but we have to remember that what makes a guy like Crawford great is challenges. That's why he's great. That's why he's done what he's done." Now, that said, I think Canelo would be too big and too strong for him at 168. I could be wrong. He could prove us wrong. But for the most part, I think that's just a lot to ask a bud to go to 168. Brian McIntyre has steered Terence Crawford to title glory across for weight classes. And now he's eager to navigate a showdown against Canelo Alvarez. Crawford is now aiming for a matchup with the legendary Mexican boxer, though Crawford has achieved a lot in the boxing ring. Defeating Canelo would rank as his greatest achievement. The super middleweight world champion has faced loss just twice at the hands of Dimitri Bivol and Floyd Mayweather. If a showdown between Crawford and Canelo happens, McIntyre will focus his analysis on the bout against Bivol. He made him move his feet if the fight ever materialized. That's the fight that I would go back and watch, said McIntyre regarding Canelo versus Bivol when chatting on the Luke Thomas YouTube channel. He added, "I'd look at Mayweather versus Canelo low too. Terence Crawford is making every effort to get Canelo Alvarez to enter the ring with him in the highly awaited super fight," in an interview with TMZ Sports. Crawford confidently declared, "Of course I'll beat him." When questioned about a possible matchup with Alvarez, "There ain't no doubt in my mind that I won't beat anybody that I step in the ring with," he added. Alvarez beat Edgar Berlanga via unanimous decision to hold on to the super middleweight titles from the Ring WBA, WBC and WBO. Before the fight, ESPN's Mike Coppinger reported that Alvarez is eyeing a possible rematch with Dimitri Bivol in May contingent on Bivol victory over Artur Beterbiev for the undisputed light heavyweight title on October 12. Crawford appeared to say on X that after Saturday's fight, he is focused on Canelo. In August, Turki Al-Sheikh, chairman of Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority, revealed to Coppinger that he is collaborating with Crawford to persuade Alvarez to accept the match. Al-Sheikh said, "I will give Canelo, but I think is a fair price. If he accepts it, he deals directly with me to finish the deal. I don't want anyone in the middle. I guaranteed Crawford a big fight. I want Canelo for Crawford, and Crawford wants Canelo, but if Canelo is crazy with his financial demands, I will still guarantee Crawford any fight he wants." Since his loss to Bivol in May 2022, Alvarez has rebounded with 5 straight victories. However, he meets scrutiny for opting to face less challenging opponents in an effort to enhance his record. At 34 years old, he boasts an impressive career tally of 62 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws from 66 fights. But Terence Crawford acknowledges that if he were to face Canelo Alvarez, his primary concerns would be the Mexican's power and size. Nevertheless, he emphasizes that his reach and speed surpass those of Canelo after Canelo's victory over Edgar Berlanga. Both Crawford and His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh issued a challenge to the Mexican boxing sensation, who boasts a record of 62 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws with 39 knockouts, when asked for his thoughts on the callouts during the post-fight press conference. Canelo simply replied, "No comment." The Mexican superstar Canelo showed visible irritation at the question, his expression showing frustration over Crawford's relentless pursuit of a fight. It was clear that he was growing weary of the pressure. Canelo has already stated his demand of $150 million, and if Turkey truly desired to make the fight happen, it would have been a simple matter for him to publicly express his readiness to meet that figure. His hitting power and his physical size are the only things I have to worry about. Once we get in the ring, we don't know how I will handle his hitting power size. I've been fighting bigger guys my whole life, so I'm pretty familiar with that part of the game," said Terence Crawford to the TMZ Sports channel, and asked what he has to worry about with Canelo Alvarez. Crawford lacks the skills to take down Canelo and seems more interested in a lucrative retirement check than in chasing a real challenge. It's a mischance. He could be raking in substantial earnings by competing against the numerous fighters at 154 and 147 who are ready to step into the ring with him. Instead, he's choosing for the easy route, chasing a big payday while skipping the hard work that comes with facing worthy opponents. "This fight is massive," yes, said Crawford, on whether a fight between him and Canelo is the biggest fight in boxing. "You've got 2 guys that are top 3 pound for pound going head to head with each other. I understand Canelo is bigger than me, but I'm up for the task. I think it's a very interesting fight." Crawford's performance in his most recent bout left much to be desired. After a lengthy 14-month hiatus, he barely defeated WBA junior middleweight champion Israel Madrimov in his debut at 154 pounds on August 3rd. This match showed that Crawford struggled to distinguish himself among the elite fighters in this division, a stark contrast to his past successes in other weight classes. It seems increasingly unlikely that Crawford will secure the matchup he's long sought against Canelo, and many fans are pushing him to move on. The relentless pursuit of this fight is starting to overshadow the Nebraska native's image, leaving some to question whether his constant demands are doing more harm than good. Many view Crawford's move as a last-ditch attempt to secure a lucrative payday before hanging up his gloves. Critics say that he hasn't demonstrated any desire to step up to 168 pounds and face the elite fighters there who are eager for their chance to shine. It looks that Terence Crawford is prepared to challenge the super middleweight champion. "Put me in the game, coach," Crawford wrote to X after the fight. Alvarez won over Berlanga, a unanimous decision, with judges scoring the bout T117, 11, 118, 10 and 118. This victory marks his 5th straight win, solidifying his dominance in the division and moving his impressive record to February to 60 to following Saturday's game, but Crawford may be a formidable opponent. At 36 years old, he happily holds an unblemished record of 41 wins and no losses. His latest success came in August, where he secured a unanimous decision victory over Israel Madrimov, earning both the WBA and the vacant WBO interim light middleweight titles, while a showdown between the two stars isn't yet on the horizon. Crawford does enjoy the support of Turki Alalshik as Crawford enters the twilight of his boxing journey. He's eager to cap it off with a victory against one of the sport's elite, Alvarez. The question remains, will Alvarez give him that coveted opportunity?
I can't go down anymore. But you know, like he say, you know, when they ask him for the Germonta fight, they don't wanna get credit for that fight. It's the same for me. I don't need to take that fight because everybody's gonna say it's too small, it's too small, it's too small, and then, you know, he need to enjoy his fight.
Okay,
He deserve it. He deserve it. I like Spence, but you know, I like Spence and all the respect for him and everything. But I knew. I think is the type of fight Terence Crawford is fighter is.
On the other hand, it appears that David Benavidez has unfinished business with Terence Crawford. El Monstruo is presently competing in a weight class 3 divisions above Bud, yet he expresses eagerness for a showdown with the two-weight undisputed champion should the chance arise. Not so much for the scale of the clash, but driven by a burning desire for revenge against the Baltimore brawler who had taken down his brother Jose Benavidez back in October 2018, when Crawford was the WBO welterweight champion. The two first crossed paths. Benavidez stepped into the ring claiming an unblemished record of 25-0, but Crawford delivered a stunning blow, ending his undefeated streak with a dramatic TKO in the final moments of the 12th round. Crawford was ahead of the other two judges by scores of 110, 99, 108, 101, and 107, and 102 at the time of stopping in the latter part of the last round. Crawford unleashed a powerful right uppercut that sent Benavidez to the mat. Seizing the moment, he pressed forward, pinning his opponent against the ropes, prompting the referee to intervene and call an end to the fight. 6 years have passed since the fateful night, yet two-time WBC super middleweight champion David still carries the memory of Crawford's brutal meeting with his older brother Benavidez, told Mr. Organic, "Yeah, I've been wanting to get it. I would love to get it, but I don't think he'd come up to 168 pounds. I'm not even at 168 pounds anymore, but I'd love to fight or even spar Crawford for the chance to beat Canelo Alvarez." Crawford's bitter rival would be yet another gratifying motivator for Benavidez. To no end, Benavidez has been pursuing a big-time matchup with the Mexican great for more than a year. He held the position of Canelo's WBC man at the Story Challenger at 168 pounds, yet the former pound-for-pound champion seemed disinterested in finalizing the fight. Consequently, in June, Benavidez stepped up to the light heavyweight division and won a commanding unanimous decision victory against Alexander Gosick by earning the WBC interim title. He has positioned himself to challenge the victor of the upcoming undisputed showdown between Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev on October 12. Canelo recently displayed his dominance by defending his unified titles against Edgar Berlanga, and now he's in the crosshairs for a highly anticipated superfight with Crawford. Saudi boxing chief His Excellency Turki Alalshik has long coveted this matchup, and during a recent appearance at UFC 306 at the Las Vegas Sphere alongside Crawford, he passionately pushed for the fight to happen. "Yo, Turkey, tell them we are going to go for Canelo next," said Crawford. "His Excellency," Alex said. "Yes, let's go, Canelo. Come on, we are ready." Crawford then added, "You heard it from him. Just put me in the game. Big Canelo." Crawford is the biggest fight in boxing, but we stay ready. Though we stay ready, that way we don't have to get ready. Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you like this one.